Good morning, students. Today we are going to continue with our previous chapter that we are going through, whose name was, it was regarding to the Chinese civilization that we are learning about. In our previous class, we studied about the location and origin as to exactly where Chinese civilization first flourished or started, and then we studied about various important dynasties that evolved or circulated during the early Chinese civilization, have brought about various developments, and the importance of Wangho River and one of the other rivers which existed and which had certain importance during in the Chinese civilization. Then we came to the characteristics features of the Chinese civilization, where in our first part we studied about the town planning and how the towns were built, how it was constructed, how it was developed, where we studied the pattern or the things that were used to bring about the structural development of the Chinese civilization. We also studied about the patterns that were used, that was almost square kind of patterns that were used during the time. Then we studied about how roads and houses were constructed in what particular way. Now, extending to that, the second characteristics that we are going to learn about today is about the houses. The houses, how it were built. I have jotted down the whole details about the houses in few points to make it simpler to understand. Now here, the first point what it states about the houses, the construction of houses, the roofs. Now there were simple kind of roofs or roof that were made or used during the time, which were most probably made out of bamboos, or in some houses it was bricks, made out of bricks, which was sun-baked bricks. I have already explained what the sun-baked brick means. Second point, importantly, it states about there were some houses which differentiated between the rich and the poor people. Now certain houses were there which were made of simple hay, mud or bamboos in simple design or simple form. But there were certain houses which were fancy houses, where a lot of decorations were there, courtyards were there, private halls were there, private houses were there, and they were made mostly out of wood, either of wood or of sun-baked bricks. The third most important point is that all the houses had a particular facing system, which is in regarding to the main door. The main door of the house always faced toward the southern part. That is, south facing was the main door of all the houses, most probably in the Chinese civilization. Then the designs of the wings of the roof, like most, it was like the wings of the roofs were somewhat like this. If you see, in Chinese civilizations, most of the wings of the houses were like this design. Now this design almost depicted the wings of the bird. It had their own religious belief in regard to building this kind of roofs or this kind of designs of the roof, which similarized the wings of the bird. This was one of the peculiar kind of description about the Chinese houses by the earlier times. Now that also exists, or that has significance till now in modern Chinese period also, or Chinese country. This design, if you see, you will find it existing in today's time also in China. Now the temples or the important public places were also being made there, and it had its own design or unique pattern of or unique feature of building and constructing. Now it had a pillared kind of, these temples or places where they had big pillar kind of construction, having most probably holding most of the walls or the structure of the temple, and fancy decorations were made with most of the other different kind of construction. And on the outer part of the houses, every house, there were structures of gods made by the people in each and every houses that were been built earlier. So these are some of the important features. In simple way you can understand as to what were the features, important features, main characteristics of the houses built during the time. Number one, as we discussed, it was roofs that were made out of bamboos and sun-dried bricks. Secondly, there were differentiation of houses which differentiated the economical status of the people. Some were simpler houses, some were fancy houses. Fancy houses had lot of decorations among themselves. They had a lot of interior part, surroundings were quite large. They had open courtyards and other beneficial kind of things that were there, which differentiated the two status of people living during that time, or various different status of people living during that time. The main door always faced toward the southern part. The roofs designs were of wings like bird, structure of the birds, as I have made here. You get the drawing here. Then the temples had its own structural feature made out of pillar, and wallings were there, and lot of fancy decorations were there in the pillars of the temples or the public places. And the houses that were made, the front door of the houses, where it was found that it was there were gods, Chinese gods, or whatever they believed, those kind of structural decorations or designs were made in front of the door. Now this civilization, this particular structural thing that existed or still exists for about, as an existence period of about 4,000 years back. So it is long back it had started, and still today the same kind of culture, practice or system is being found when you see the houses of the Chinese people. The next important feature, it is about the architectural structure. The next important characteristics, as I told you, it is about the architecture. Now architecture, if a thing about China we recall back in regarding to architectural structure or what is been made earlier, the first and foremost thing that comes into our mind if you talk about China is the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China. As we all know that the Great Wall of China has its own importance in the Chinese civilization, which was made a long back ago. Due to its constructive thing and how it was constructed during the earlier times, has its own wondrous kind of thinking in itself. Now we are going to learn now how this Great Wall of China was constructed and what was its requirement for the construction of such wall during that period. Now it is said that this particular wall was most probably in the starting period was constructed individually. This thing has to be remembered while you recall about or while you understand about the Great Wall of China. Now, first of all, the first important thing, it was constructed individually by individual kings during that time. Now, why? Now, the next question comes why. Then it states that it was constructed individually by individual kingdoms or the kings to protect their own territories from outside invaders. Soldiers were employed on the walls so that they can keep a watch both outside as well as inside the territory of its own kingdom. But later on, as the time passed, a Chinese ruler whose name was Shi Huangdi, who constructed this independent wall, or so to say, he joined all this independent wall and made it as one single wall. Now when he made this as one single wall, it had its own important significance by protecting the same thing, by protecting from the foreign invaders. Now after this construction was done where all the independence wall were joined, it stated that it had a length of about 2,400 kilometers long, and the height of the wall was about 4.5 meters to, in certain places it were about 9 meters. Now this you can state as the measurement. This you can state as the measurement of the wall that was there. It was stated that it was 2,400 kilometers long. When all these walls were joined together, it extended up to 2,400 kilometers, which is a very long distance. Height, in certain places, the range between of the height were about 4.5 meters to about 9 meters tall. The next important thing is that it formed the boundary. The wall most probably formed the boundary in the northern part of China. It extended the boundary from the northern boundary of the northern part of China, or the borders of the China, and it was built across. It did not. Now the its significance is that, and the most wondrous thing in this construction is that when the wall was constructed or when it was joined also, it did not had only plain areas where it was easy to be constructed or where it was easy to be joined or made into a single wall. There were mountains also it covered. So you can imagine how difficult it would have been during the time to bring these particular walls together into one single wall, or even constructing wall individually was also not an easy task. So there were mountains, valleys, plains, deserts, which it had to be covered, and then only these walls were joined together. Now it seems easy, or it looks easy in present times, but during that earlier time there were no such kind of modern equipments or modern things that could be used during that time. But still, the skills and the capabilities of the people, this wall or the existence of this wall in present times that we see, it states about the skill and the capabilities of the people during that time, their knowledge, their discoveries and their zeal within themselves to see that these structural things come into existence. Now, in this Great Wall of China, there was about 10,000 watchtowers. Now, what is these watchtowers? These watchtowers were nothing but small houses. Now, let me explain you. If this is a wall, there were important construction being made here in every interval. In every interval, there were like this kind of construction being made. This construction was known as the watchtower. Small watchtower, or a place where soldiers could sit there, rest there, and keep a clear watch day and night from the tower on the top. So these places at every interval of the wall is known as the watchtower, where the soldiers used to keep a clear watch on both sides of the wall. That was the outer part of the wall and as well as the inner part of the wall where the kingdom existed. So this is the important features of the Great Wall of China, which has a very important significance and which also covers within the 7 wonders of the world, which states the brilliance, the skillful, the knowledge and the zeal of the people during the time to bring about such kind of marvelous construction. So we'll stop here for today and we'll continue about the architectural structures of various other important things. Then we'll study about the society, how the society was conducted, the occupational structure of the people, then the religious structure of the people, and we'll also study about one of the important person whose name was Confucian, who started Confucianism, a separate kind of religion in the Chinese civilization. So that we will be continuing in the next class. Hope you all are studying and doing your part and completing your work on time. Have a good day. Thank you very much. नहीं, stop कर दो.